Before we jump into today's Chicago Bears mailbag, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel here. It's youtube.com/Bears Now. I got to reach 35,000 subs before kickoff against the Packers on Sunday. That's what I've been told. We're about 250 away, so help us get there. I don't want to find out what happens with the bosses if we don't get there because, yeah, that's not a conversation I'm trying to have. So hit that sub button. We'll continue to bring you more news and rumors videos, and of course we'll be live on Sunday for Bears vs. Packers watch party. Subscribe and enjoy today's mailbag. All right, I'm your host, Harrison Graham. It is mailbag time, so you guys can super chat or use hashtag Bears to get your questions on the show. We'll go ahead and start with my man, Torian Whitfield here. Why do our offense stall in the second half of games? Have we run out of plays? Look, Matt Nagy talked about this on Monday. Bears got stuffed on 2 critical 3rd and 1s in the second half. You got to clean that up. You got to convert on 3rd and short. You just have to. You convert those. Maybe those drives are extended. I thought the Raiders made some adjustments, and I think also the Bears were comfortable keeping that a low-scoring, grinded-out type of game. Now, you can't do that every week. Like, you're going to have to be more aggressive at times, but I think that game called to be a little conservative, and it worked out for the Bears in that one. Alan Mack, other than Foles, what other players could we trade? I think guys the Bears could trade away, and we'll certainly do a trade candidates video. We just did trade targets. Now we'll do trade candidates, guys that could get shipped out. Names that come to mind, Foles, obviously, maybe Dalton instead of Foles, but I don't think so. Allen Robinson, if you're not going to re-sign him, and maybe if you aren't contending, you try to get a pick for him, could be an option. Would someone want Danny Trevathen's contract? I doubt it. One of your depth tight ends, one of your receivers like Damiere Byrd, he's not doing a ton for the Bears. Maybe a team would like to get some speed. There's a few options, but I don't think there's a ton of trade candidates for Chicago. Jumping Jack, more likely to stay long-term, David Montgomery or Allen Robinson? I like this one. This is a good question. I still think it's Monty because he's under contract through next year, so he has a better chance currently to be here long-term. But I think it's possible that neither or both are here long-term. I think it's more likely that neither are, but I'm holding out hope at least one or both are on this team long-term for the Chicago Bears. So go ahead and give us your thoughts. Who do you think is more likely to stay long-term for the Chicago Bears? Type DM for David Montgomery, or you can type AR for Allen Robinson. I'll type DM because he's under contract, but what if Khalil Herbert keeps balling out and the Bears are like, you know what, we don't want to pay Monty $10 million a year. We'll just roll with the Virginia Tech kid. Could happen. DM, AR. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video, so scroll on down and answer right there. The Chicago Bears, what is it with all these rumors on Google about trading Robinson for Jalen Reagor? Okay, I saw this. I didn't even entertain it. Number one, I honestly forgot about it. And two, it was just so outlandish that it was crazy. And other stories, injuries were popping up, so we didn't get to it. Bleacher Report, this was not a rumor. This is a trade idea. Bleacher Report proposed A-Rob and a 6th to the Eagles for Jalen Reagor. I like Jalen Reagor. I went to TCU. I loved him in college. He's been very inconsistent, though, as a pro. I'm not giving a better receiver and a draft pick for him. That's lunacy. Like, that makes no sense. If anything, it should be Reagor and a pick for Robinson. But that's what the trade idea was. That's not being reported. That was simply just a trade idea from Bleacher Report. Angelo Cervantes, appreciate the $10. He was balling out during the watch party. Angelo, I know I'll see you Sunday. Appreciate that. Anyone else pissed off at the John Gruden situation took away from the national media that the Bears away game win? Took away the attention from the Bears. I get that, Angelo, but let's be honest. John Gruden having to resign due to racial undertoned emails and homophobic slurs, that's a bigger story than the Bears winning in Las Vegas. Let's be honest. Like, I get what you're saying, but the Bears need to focus on the Bears, and the Raiders got to focus on the Raiders. That's just the reality of it. So I appreciate the super chat. The win was awesome. Let's try and win again this week. Hey, Speaking of winning this week, I want to win more money this week. I've been crushing it the last 2 weeks. I'm 8-2 in my last 10 picks against the spread, betting with BetUS. You see the record. I won the Steelers, won the Bears, Chargers covered, and won over hit as well. I missed that one game. I parlayed this as well. I would have won like $150, but we're going 5-0 this week. And if you want to make money all season long as well, do it at BetUS. See the link below. Type it into your browser, chatsports.com/Bears. Use the promo code BEARDOWN because when you deposit $100 or however much, they're going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. I would just put in $100. They'll give you that $125 for free. Then you got $225 in total to play with. It's a great deal. Make some money all football season long. It's chatsports.com/Bears. Promo code BEARDOWN. Alan Mack, Mack in the race for DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year, obviously. I think so. Trevon Diggs in Dallas, he's got, 6 picks through 5 games. He's been outstanding. I think Mack's probably more of a secondary candidate. He was just unreal on Sunday. Guys, he's injured, and he goes and has 8 tackles and a sack of Derek Carr. Yeah, he's balling out. Robert Quinn's playing well. I wouldn't say Mack is a top 2 or 3 candidate, but he's probably in the top 5 or 6. He's been terrific. Chris, again, can we throw a package of A-Rob and a late-round pick to the Dolphins for Xavien Howard, seeing how much the Dolphins love wide receivers? Possibly. I mean, that's an interesting idea. The Dolphins are probably going to be big sellers because they're struggling right now. They're 1-4. They could use a long-term answer as a number 1 receiver. Honestly, I would do that, man. I think that would be a win for Chicago. Do you think that Trevathen contract is a waste due to the way Ogletree is playing? Well, Ogletree was sitting on his couch the last year and a half, basically, because he got injured. So you didn't know that when you signed him. He's definitely overpaid, $8-9 million a year for Trevathen, but he can still be a good player. I think you'll see him and Ogletree rotate next to Roquan Smith. Would you like it to be cheaper? Sure, but that doesn't mean he's a detriment. Like Jimmy Graham's contract is a waste because he basically does nothing. But Trevathen is going to play. He'll continue to play, and I think he'll play pretty well. Jason Wade here. You think the Bears can beat the Packers, who almost lost to Cincy? They easily could have lost. Both those teams were missing game-winning field goals left and right. It was unreal. I definitely think they can win. Now, would I predict it? I don't know. I'm not sure. How about this? How about you guys predict the score? I know we've got this question. Predict the score between the Bears and the Packers. I think I'm going to do an official preview later in the week, so stay tuned for that. Depending on when you're watching this, the preview could already be out. But predict the score for us. Bears versus Packers. I'll have my official score prediction on our preview on Thursday, I think, is when we'll push that one out. Paul Dow has a super chat. Like the fact that Gruden's last game was a loss against us. We finally get a D. Herbert. Oh, we finally got him, I think is what you meant. And then D. Herbert is a beast, and Grant was a great pickup trade for Collins. Allow Collins trade would be great. Herbert is a great draft pick, no doubt. And yeah, it finally got to beat the Raiders. And ironically, that was Gruden's last game, which we'll see how that plays out in Vegas. Roosevelt Haynes, let's trade for Odell. Him and Mooney will be deadly. Odell has 2 100-yard games in 26 games with the Browns. He's not dominant anymore. Now, A-Rob has not been dominant this year, but I think part of that is, quarterback shuffle. The O-line's not protecting as well in the pass game. This team's running the football a ton. I think A-Rob kind of understands that the numbers just aren't going to be huge this year, but I can't sit here and say Odell Beckham's a better player than him. I just can't. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. What's your favorite Halloween candy? Halloween's almost here. I love Reese's Pieces. I love just milk chocolate, peanut butter chocolate. I think the more basic, the better. I don't need all this crazy stuff, this explosive flavors all happening at once. Just give me the good stuff. But let me know what you guys think. Favorite Halloween candy? All right, we got time for a couple more. So, Keno, how much do you think Roquan is getting paid? On his new deal, probably $20 million a year. He's going to get the bag. So, Bears got to figure that out. You can't. If you don't bring back Allen Robinson, you better sign Roquan. You know what I mean? Like, if the Bears projected ahead and said we can't keep both, so we're keeping Roquan, okay, fine. Because Roquan, he's got to be a part of this team's future. He just does. Ratify here. If the Bears beat the Packers, will the Bears be the team to stop? Maybe. I mean, both teams would be 4-2, so you can't sit there and say that the Bears would be, by far the best team in the NFC North. But it would officially be a 2-team race at that point between the Bears and the Packers. Now, maybe Minnesota gets into the mix. They've had a weird year. They've lost close games. They've won close games. Easily could have lost to Detroit last week. But you beat the Packers. That's putting the NFC and the NFL on notice for sure. Ethan Eli, do you think Trevis Gipson could be a star if he actually gets more reps and or started eventually? I think you're looking at maybe not a star in the making, but a damn good player in the making. Guys, he is flashed. The breakout is here. I can't remember. He's got 3 sacks, I think, this year, maybe 4. He's been great, man. He was inactive most of last season, and now he's getting legitimate snaps and making an impact. So that's good progression. That's good development, which is what you like to see. And, yeah, he's your number 3 pass rusher at outside linebacker right now after Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith. So, yeah, I love what I'm seeing, and I think he's only going to get better. Hopefully we're getting better every single day here at Bears Now, and if you think we are, hit that subscribe button. We'll have a live watch party on Sunday. We'll continue to hit you with the latest Bears news and rumors. Remember, got to hit 35K subs before kickoff this week. That is the goal. That is the expectation. So help us out. Let's continue to be the best Chicago Bears channel on YouTube. Danny Phillips, do you think Santos can beat the most consecutive field goals made? He needs 10 to tie it and 11 to break it. Why not, man? I mean, he hasn't missed in over a year. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to be that guy. But the Bears had zero hesitation to settle for 45-plus yard field goals to ice the game. They did it twice, one to make it an 8-point game, one to make it an 11. If you drew a dot in the middle in between each goalpost, that's basically what he hits. And that's what he hits almost every time. He has been unreal for Chicago. What is it, 35, 36 in a row? He's been fantastic. I definitely think it's possible, but he will miss eventually, and when he does, let's not panic because you got one of the best kickers in the NFL right now, which that would have been nice 3 years ago. Aiden, you get the last word unless we get a super chat here. If the Bears win this game, they are making it to the playoffs. You got a damn good chance at that point. You really do. Because let's just think about it real quick. I'm going to break this down. NFC North, at that point, it's really just you and Green Bay. Again, maybe Minnesota gets in the mix, especially if they win next week. It's possible. But NFC East, I think it's Dallas and no one else. I don't think any of them are contending for a wild card spot currently. Maybe Washington gets in there, but I doubt it. Philadelphia, NFC South, Saints, Falcons, Carolina. The Falcons aren't going to be in the mix. Saints maybe. Bucks obviously will be very good. We'll see about Carolina. I think they're falling back to earth. And then the NFC West, Seattle's got Russell Wilson hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance are banged up. That's the Rams and Cardinals. Yeah, you win this game, you're at least in the mix for a wild card, if not for the NFC North.